Hi, ¿cómo están? Everything began here in June 2009. At that point, I began my doctoral studies here at Teachers College. As part of the program, we were having this conversation with other doctoral students. And we were talking about the separation, the perceived separation that exists. You know, when we see the Department of Sociology, the Department of Anthropology, these silos that we experience at the universities. And as we were describing and talking about this, I participated and I began to talk about community, and without knowing, I found myself asking one of the students, this person worked at Pfizer, and I was saying, why don't you help me and help me to get medicine, to take that medicine to the Amazon, to help the indigenous community in the Amazon. And for one reason or another, I didn't get the medicine, but I went to the Amazon. The title of my presentation is Mindfulness into Action, a Transformational Learning Experience. The point of my presentation is to be aware of our assumptions. In July, I went to the Amazon. I was trying to find time to myself. And then I observed that other people were there. And I was talking with them, and one of them had cancer, the other one had diabetes, the other one had depression. And all of them came to the Amazon for healing, and observed that at this community, they were preparing this healing ceremony. I didn't consider myself sick, but I said, I'm here, let's go and participate in this healing ceremony. And as I was participating in these ceremonies, this indigenous ancient knowledge helps you to connect with this nature. And as I was connecting with Mother Earth, I healed. And let me tell you what I mean by this. Since I was 4 years old, I had a trauma. Then when I had nausea, I went into panic attacks. I don't know if you know that, but when you have a panic attack, it's this intense fear. And it's so horrible that you feel so hopeless. And could be right here, this safe place, but doesn't matter, you feel this. And my whole life I had to manage not to feel the nausea in order to have a normal life. And here I am in the middle of nowhere in the Amazon, having the assumption that they needed medicine from Pfizer. Duh. And I got healed of this trauma. And it was amazing. It's amazing. But then, what was the point of this presentation? To be mindful of our assumptions. Then, as we were doing this, and we were fine, but then an indigenous person came. He was very agitated, and he was talking about how a mining company was there, just few kilometers near us. And they were digging for gold, and they were killing, the forest. As they were talking about this, they said, we need to have a community meeting. And they arranged that. They had the community meeting. And as I was observing this, I was listening to them, and they were talking about how this had happened before. This happened in Morona, Santiago, Zamora, Chinchipe, and now they are here. They were saying they are polluting our rivers, and I could sense as they were talking, I felt their hopelessness. And that was their assumption. But then from the back, 3 of them came and said, you know what? No more, we had it. We are going with our machetes. At that point, I had to intervene. And then I raised my hand and asked permission to participate. And I said, I have a message from Pachamama. Pachamama is Mother Earth in their language, Quechua. And I began to explain that there's laws, terrorism laws, that if they went with machetes to the mining company was going to use these laws against them. And it didn't matter if they were right or not. They were going to end up in jail. And as we were going through this process, because when they were with the machetes, they were not mindful, they were reacting to act. Then I began to have this reflection with them. And as we were reflecting, I said, we need first to become a nonprofit. And then as we continue, I said, but why don't you work for the mining company anyway? You need money to survive. And they explained that because of globalization, their lives have changed and that they need to cut a tree. They are forced to cut a tree in order to eat, because it's $50 for the tree. And with that money, a family eats for a week. And they wanted to have this ecotourism initiative, but they call it community tourism. Then I said, okay, but what we need for that? They said, we need a road in order for students to come or tourists to come. I asked them, what do you want? I said, we want to preserve our land. They have lived there for centuries, but they didn't have at that time titles, property titles. Then at that time, I mentioned I was doing my doctorate here at Columbia Teachers College, and I had to go back to New York. But then what happened is that they began, while I was here, they began to build the road for people to go there. They got rid of the mining company. When I got there, I came back in September. And they showed me this huge machinery. And I said, what happened? I said, we went to talk to the mining company. No machetes. Okay. I said, did you? Yes, we went. And when we were talking to them, we asked them, what are you doing here? And they didn't have any paperwork. And because they brought the police with them, the police confiscated the machineries. This was in September. In June and July, they felt this victim because of their assumptions that they couldn't. But through mindfulness, they got rid of that mining company in September, and by 2010, they got rid of 4 more mining companies without violence. Right? Then they found out that they were a non-profit. And at this point in 2011, all the families, 45 families, got their titles, property titles. And then in June 2012, the first students came. And they did research in environmental science with sociology, working with the indigenous. Again, my main point is that we need to be mindful of our assumptions. Because you can see we have all these efforts, helping people, doing this, doing that, and we move and we keep repeating this cycle and we don't find the answer. Did you notice that? Right? That we are helping everyone or trying to, but we don't go to the root. And the root is to stop, breathe, connect with Pachamama. We think that Pachamama is in the Amazon. She's right here, but we don't connect. She's waiting. Because without knowing, with our behavior, we are killing her. And we don't see that we are doing it. To conclude, I want to invite you to go with me to the Amazon. And not only there, but to go with me through this journey of mindfulness into action. Thank you so much.